Spicers. So, you guys all voted on what your favorite anime was from 2015, and we're going to tell you who won.
Yes.
So, thanks to user Takashi Chiya, who, I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but, you know, doing my best, who compiled the list and let us know what won, essentially.
Yes.
So we are going to go through the top 20. This episode, we're going to do 20 through 11,
Yes.
and we'll also do one where we tell you the top 10.
Number 20, Prison School. Yeah. Okay, now I need to start off by confessing that I'm a total moron, okay? And when meaning to watch, I've never watched Prison School, and when meaning to watch the premiere, I accidentally watched the finale of the first season. And I thought this was one of those animes where you just kind of jump in, right? And yeah, so I know what happens, and it's pervy.
That's sort of the whole show, though. Is it's Cromartie High with an Attack on Titan sense of drama.
Yeah,
but no Titans.
Attack on
And
Titan.
then a 100% more S&M than Titans.
Yeah, it reminded me just like a really, really sexual version of Best Student Council.
Yeah,
Is pretty much what it reminded me of.
I mean, watching just the finale, it all feels very disturbing, but
We don't want to judge.
There's a charming coming-of-age story to the whole thing.
Right.
And it kind of plays with the weird psychology elements to being punished.
Yes.
That very S&M fashion. And
It's very BDSM-y though. For
yeah.
And I can tell you all that the prison is not a metaphor.
Not a
No.
metaphor.
It is in fact a real prison on the school.
So for those who don't know, the show is there's an all-girls school who allows only like 5 guys to come join, and then they all instantly try to pull a Porky's.
Yes.
And all get caught. And then they all have to do time in the school's prison, which is
Like you do.
for a month, just a month, and
I mean, a whole month in prison.
In the school prison.
in the school prison, which
Yeah.
is this prison cell in the middle of the school courtyard.
Let's just move on before we get into more
Move on from
trouble.
that.
Okay.
Number
So
20.
speaking
That's
of
number 20.
S&M, number 19.
Gangsta.
Yeah.
Gangsta.
Gangsta's rad, right?
This is such a cool show.
Yeah, so this is really kind of grounded.
Yeah.
You know, on the one hand, it sort of has these shades of like Samurai Champloo, but I could see this being a live action show on HBO.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
It's really great. You've got these fantastic, really well-developed characters that are really well-developed from pretty much the pilot.
This show reminds me a lot of like Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
You know, it's a show basically about these 2 guys that are kind of like, sort of like hitmen kind of for good.
They're sort of
They're
mercenaries in a
handymen,
way.
right?
But yeah.
They're the neutral status sort of mobsters. So if they want something handled and don't want any political situation to be pulled into it, call these guys.
Yeah.
And
They're the A-team.
Yeah.
And also people in the village, in the city that just need help, they're there for.
It's more grounded, it's more adult. I can see why this one was a little higher up because I don't necessarily think there's a lot of teens necessarily watching this one, but it's a solid show.
At the same time, though, it starts off grounded, sure, but then it goes into this crazy X-Men realm. You know, it's like
with
gets
the
into
tags,
the tags
of course,
and the Twilights. The main character's entire backstory is just completely rife with weird. It's almost Mr. Sinister level
really?
genetic manipulation. You know.
Well, it's also great because one of your main characters is deaf, and that's something that you don't see in many shows in general, especially not animated shows. So it's just such an interesting take on everything. It's really, really well done. Not for kids. No. Don't let kids watch it. This is definitely way more adult.
To be fair, this is the type of anime that I started watching
Right.
when
That's
I
true.
first started getting into it at like
Sure.
10 years old.
Yeah.
You know,
But it
VHS
does-
tape off the shelf and
Right.
it's go 13. Okay.
But that doesn't mean that it is technically appropriate to be shown children.
No, not at all.
I do like that one of the main dudes though is a gigolo.
Yes.
Which I don't recall really seeing that in an action anime before.
No, we've got a gigolo, an ex-prostitute, and a deaf ex-mercenary.
Hey, can't go wrong.
Okay, guys, number 18, Durarara X2, or times 2, or number 2, or
it's the second season.
Years after season 1.
Yeah. Now I actually wasn't able to watch this for the show. I love the first season of this show. It's really awesome. But I didn't finish it yet, so I didn't want to get into number 2 yet. So I can't say much about it.
But you guys know all about it. I mean,
yeah.
this is Durarara.
Yeah,
so
It's
a big
also
one.
season 2, so...
So number 17 is one that has a title that I thought it was going to be a totally different anime before we watched it. Number 17 is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
And to answer the question, yes it is. You need to start paying attention to what you've got right in front of you.
Wow.
Well, what if right in front of you is a dungeon?
Yeah. Oh, that's a fair point. You're talking about the goddess, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
He's all ready to go right there. And now he's in love with this other unattainable.
I like this show a lot. So basically, it's a show that is in the past, some mythic place where there's a giant labyrinth, like Greek gods and stuff. And there actually are like Greek gods and other gods, and they've taken Earth form, and they have these adventurers that go out and they try to earn points. It's sort of like D&D.
Yeah, it's kind of like World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
The anime.
But
it's obviously taking all those ideas that we've sort of developed as a culture playing those games.
Yeah.
And then turned them into reality, and then just sort of threw this nice little weird romantic twist on the whole thing, which makes it super charming.
That's the thing. You were feeling like it was more of a love story than anything else, right?
Oh yeah, it absolutely is.
It's really funny because this is one of those weird shows where even though it's sort of an adventurer show, sort of one where there is fighting, obviously there's fighting, but it feels like these sort of social aspects are actually more important than that and more of the focus. But the fighting that they have is also pretty awesome.
Yeah.
This is actually an anime that I saw a lot of cosplay of, especially your main goddess. And so it was kind of nice to actually see more of that and find out what the deal was with this character.
I sort of enjoy the sort of Tenchi Muyo-ness of like all these women are just in love with the main character.
Yeah, it's almost
really,
I can't tell if it
right?
is actually his superpower or if it's just a thing that happens in this show, but it seems like it's something to do with his superpower, just everybody falls in love with him.
Of course, his goddess is the goddess of hearth and home and stuff, so maybe they're attracted to that.
It's one that I was only able to watch a few episodes for the show, but I'd like to keep on going. I think it's really cool, a lot of fun. Okay, Mark, what's number 16?
It would be my teen romantic comedy SNAFU.
Yes.
And,
That sounds like a slice of life.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Ouran Host Club type show, which I love Ouran Host Club, so I instantly love this show. Season 1 is definitely really good. Basically, you can sum it down to two main characters who are part of this club in their school where they just help people in their social lives.
Is it like Hitch? Like an anime version of Hitch, that Will Smith movie?
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Okay.
So they just help each other through all their weird social interactions, but then they get into like the psychology of these teenagers in high school and actually like dive into that. And
That's a scary place.
Very laid out terms, and it's a scary place, but it's really cool. And you get to see why all these characters do the different things, and it's not veiled in like poor writing or anything like that. It's just right out there in this excellently written show.
Okay, let's move on. Number 15, Dragon Ball Super. Now, this is a thing, right? Okay, so first off, I have to say, it is a thing. First off, I have to say Dragon Ball is like my favorite show of all time, so I was really excited about this, and I love the movies. I'm not at all up to date on Dragon Ball Super. It's not as easy to find as a lot of the other ones.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously
for us Americans.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, obviously, for a lot of people in America, especially with Dragon Ball Z, the only way that we got it back in the day was the dubbed version when that came out. It wasn't so easy. We didn't have the interwebs.
Yeah, and Dragon Ball GT, I remember, was the first time where we not so legally acquired the subtitled versions, and they were in real players that were like that resolution.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome that Toriyama's doing it, obviously. I like they're picking up right after the Majin Buu saga. I think it's really cool.
And they're retelling Battle of Gods.
Battle of Gods, yeah, exactly.
Which is fun. I know there's been a lot of trash talk about the animation quality, but
Get over it.
It's the tweens.
Yeah.
It's the in-between frames that people are bitching about.
Also, if Dragon Ball Super didn't have me at the start, which it did, it totally had me at Vegeta Goes on Vacation.
I know.
So,
and that was like the second episode, so it totally works.
Yeah. So, Dragon Ball Super, it had to be on the list.
It had to. Number 14, Blockade Battlefront. Now, this one, it's a little different. And all I have to say is that when I watched the premiere, I felt like the whole thing was on like fast forward.
Yeah.
Like they go through so much exposition.
Well,
so
it's partially
quickly.
that title sequence, you know, like he just
No,
goes
no.
through the whole thing.
But
Nope, it's
they're
a
like,
show.
this is the world, and we're gonna tell you everything about the world right now.
It's great.
Well,
I loved it.
the world is fantastic. I think they created an absolutely fantastic world in this, but it's the kind of show where I saw a couple episodes and didn't really want to continue for me. Guys,
There's like no character development in this show.
Well, there
They
is
just kinda
though.
jump
That's
into
where
it.
we're disagreeing here. Is like I feel like the world didn't need explanation because it did two things. It pulled in instant
world
Blade
does
Runner
it. The
feel.
world is great.
And then it pulled in Cthulhu like punk type
Right.
feel, and you know you have Stephen King's The Mist in there. You have all these things that are referential, and then all the characters are referential to other shows,
Yeah.
you know, of that style. Like there's definitely a Full Metal Alchemist pull.
Yeah, for sure. Gintama with
yeah.
all the like the self-reflective
And
stuff.
so we have all these tropes for these characters, so it's less of just like a unique character-driven show, which, sorry to anybody that just offended, but the characters aren't that unique to start off with.
No.
What
Yeah,
it is,
no.
though, is
Yeah.
it's a roller coaster with these
Yeah.
characters. You jump in right away, you know what you're getting, and the world is so cool, and everything is so fun that you know you can just ride it out.
So, you know, I didn't, like I said, I didn't particularly enjoy this, but what I want to know from you guys for this one is, you know, what episode of Blockade Battlefront,
Sure.
really got you and said, and like told you, this is an awesome show that I love watching, and what is it that I'm missing?
Yeah, I did like the guy with the blood that can control his
Yes.
own blood, and I love in the third episode when the cool wolf-looking dude plays chess against the altar being. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I didn't feel as invested in the characters as I felt I should have. I guess.
I mean, for me, it was just the supersonic monkey.
The supersonic.
Or
monkey
I'm
is
sorry,
rad.
the sonic monkey. Apparently, he's not supersonic. I was corrected about that earlier.
All right, number 13. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Bladeworks.
Nice.
So let me just say that I know Anna and I are huge fans of Fate Zero.
Yeah.
I love that, one of my favorite animes.
I had never watched it.
Anna and I didn't get a chance to watch Fate Stay Night Unlimited Bladeworks. However,
But
Mark
I did,
So what do you
going
think,
in
Mark?
cold,
Yeah.
not realizing that it's actually, I know Fate Zero is a thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Fate Stay, okay, that's a fun naming scheme, right?
Well, there's actually Fate Stay Night. It's
Fate
all
Stay Night's the first
Fate
one.
Stay
But
Night, and
it's
then Fate
based-
Stay, and then Fate Zero,
Fate Zero,
is the
yeah.
second.
prequel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then now it's Fate Stay,
Yeah.
Unlimited
Unlimited Bladeworks.
Yeah. Now it actually started as one of those games, those sort of right, like the story
I think it did
games.
start as a game, yeah.
So it's the Holy Grail Wars, and you got these masters who summon their Pokemon servants. So I came into this cold. I didn't know anything about this. Half the first episode is high school drama. The directing on it, the framing of everything, the staging of the characters was just so off and weird and cool. And then the fight scenes happen.
Oh, yeah.
And holy crap, they're the coolest things ever. This character just vanishes, right? The air around him suddenly fills in that vacuum and like creates a gust of wind, and like you get this whole environmental effect in the animation that
Yeah.
I was not prepared for after the first 15 minutes of basically no action, just pure character-driven plot. I'm definitely in this one, like I'm gonna have to go back, watch everything else, just watch everything and just get on this, because it's so cool, and I feel so terrible that I didn't know about this earlier.
One of the great things with the Fate series is that for each of the different series that they have, they don't let you know right away who the icons, the
servants
idols
are, yeah.
represent.
The servants,
So you sort of get their tag, you know,
Yeah.
their name, like, but not their actual name. And so you get to be surprised if you never saw any of the others.
Because you still don't know who Saber is.
I don't know who anybody
That's
is.
exciting.
It's so cool.
That's exciting. I have 2 Saber figures. Saber is one of my favorite characters in anime history. Saber's rad.
One of them is Unlimited Bladeworks.
One is, yes, exactly.
I'm gonna catch flack for that Pokemon comment, aren't I?
Nah, it's fine.
you mean
It's
it
fine. I mean, it's not that different, really. They are calling upon superpowered things to fight for them. Let's move on. Number 12, Noragami Arigato.
Yeah.
Now, we watched a little bit of Noragami, which is the first season. It's basically about a minor deity who is trying to become a really popular deity. You watched a little Arigato, right?
Yeah, so I checked out a little bit of it. The first season's great. The characters are really well written. The world is cool. It's just so entrenched in old Japanese culture that even though it looks very modern and everything, there's all these little things about like the old gods and everything and how the magic works that is it feels like the kind of anime that pulled me into Japanese culture. It just shows this weird, cool mysticism. It might be just some sect of some random culture in old Japan that they're referencing that we have no idea about, and that they're just referencing to hell and back because it works. Now when you get to season 2, which is what we're talking about, and I'm sorry guys, I feel like it gets a little bit like Black Butler season 2, where it's still cool, it's still great, and actually in some ways it is better. But I feel like the first season just sort of had it good, and then we're just expanding on it. I mean, albeit they didn't completely wrap up the story like they did in Black Butler. I don't know, it just like, there's something about it that doesn't have that same charm right away in season 2. So maybe I need to give it some more time.
All right, well, number 11, the last one for this video, One Piece. I mean, what can you say about One Piece? It's sort of the granddaddy of anime right now. I mean, it's been on, I think One Piece has been on since before I started watching anime. I mean, it's been on forever.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that if you love One Piece, then you love One Piece. We don't need to tell you what One Piece is.
Yeah.
King of the Pirates, woo!
Yeah, I mean, it is one of the most popular shonen titles of all time. They have theme parks literally based on One Piece. So no surprise, it's on the list, number 11. Okay, guys, well, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to tune in next week for number 10 through 1 of the best animes of 2015. And let us know in the comments down below which one is your favorite anime from this list.
And don't forget, you can join the Vicers. Check out the message board and wiki. The links are in the description below.
Bye!